Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and spirit directly through channeling about what your career will be like in 2024, what will happen in your career in 2024, and I have 5 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, and this will be group number 5. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can just pause the video, but you can also wait until the card selection. At the end of this instruction there will be a picture that you can see, where you can see the cards a little bit more up close, and so you can also wait until that. And so choose your group and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Jolanda Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1, the people who will choose group number 1? What's going to happen in group number 1's career in 2024? Okay, there's going to be a new opportunity opening up for you. So I feel like this could be a new job for many of you. For others of you who are not actually looking for a new job, I feel like if you are not in a job right now, I'm sensing that a job offer is going to come your way in 2024 and you're going to be starting a job. So if you're not in a job, you're going to get one. But if you are currently working a job that you are actually quite happy with, then I don't think you're going to be starting a completely new job in 2024. I feel like it's more likely that you're going to get an extra project, like a new opportunity, but it's not going to be an opportunity that's going to cause you to have to say goodbye to the job that you have right now. Like it's just going to be some extra gig or like a collaboration with somebody else, like where you're going to be working in a team or something, where someone is going to reach out to you because they have seen your work, they've seen that you're very good at what you do, and so they want a piece of the cake, you know. And so it's a good thing. And I feel like in 2024 there's going to be a good progression in your career. So I'm not sensing that anything bad is going to happen in your career in 2024. I feel like it's only going to go upwards. So it's good. So if you feel right now that you're a little bit shaky, like you've maybe been shaken up because of something that has happened at your workplace, if you have a job, this is only a message for those of you who have a job right now. Like if you have been shaken to your core a little bit, where you feel like something has recently happened that might have made you think that this is gonna be hard, or that this is not as straightforward as you thought it would be, or something like that, that maybe you've gotten some backlash because of something that you did at your workplace, like something where you really believed in your project or in your idea, that you might have been, you know, true to who you were, and thought that this was actually the right way to go, because you always have to listen to your heart and listen to your intuition. If you've done something like that and then gotten some criticism for this, I don't think you should take this personally. I don't think you should get to the point where you're like wondering if you should just quit altogether, because that's not at all what I'm sensing is the right thing for you to do right now. I think I think hanging in there is good, because at the end of the day, I think you're going to get more recognition for staying true to yourself. And maybe it doesn't seem that way right now. Maybe you feel like right now you're just getting criticism and negative feedback for this thing that you did. Like right now, like it doesn't mean, like, just because you're getting this right now doesn't mean you're going to get it in the future. I think people are going to look at it in the future with different eyes. It's just right now people have a clouded judgment because they can't see the vision. Like they are not really seeing what you're actually doing. Like that, I think that's the problem, is that they lack the vision for what you actually have. Like, and it's possibly because it's very innovative what you've done, that maybe it's so original that people don't really understand it right now, but at the end, like later in the year, they will see it with different eyes. And I think it's mostly because of, like, I feel like some of you might have done something where you've made it, like where you've I don't know what this is. I'm kind of trying to pinpoint this because I know it's very different for all of you. Like, so I'm trying to get the common denominator here, but I feel like for many of you it might have been something where you presented something to maybe your boss or someone, or someone where you, or to an audience or something, and maybe right at the beginning it got a lot of criticism, but I think it's because it hasn't reached the right audience. And as soon as it reaches the right audience, you're going to get positive feedback. And then you're going to see that you shouldn't have listened to the first few people who didn't like it, because that it wasn't targeted towards them to begin with. It wasn't meant for them. So don't get discouraged because something doesn't reach the right audience. It's going to do that in the future. So, yeah. But I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say about your career in 2024. Your career in 2024, Four of Cups. So with Four of Cups, I feel like you're gonna be brewing something. Like you can see here on this card, there's a woman here, she's pregnant. And so I think you're gonna be pregnant with an idea. I think you're gonna be brewing on an idea that's actually going to be like a passion child. Something that's actually going to make you a lot of money in the future, because this is also giving me a little bit of a, well, I feel like maybe in 2024 you're maybe not going to be presenting this idea, like this new idea, because I feel like you have maybe already been presenting a new idea in like already right now. Now it's January. You might have already, taken a leap of faith and done something that you got a little bit of a backlash for, but you have to just stay true to that idea. And I think it's going to pay off, this idea that you have already had. But I think you're also going to get a new idea in 2024, and you're going to be very, very excited about this idea, and you're going to want to present it to the world. But I think there's going to be a part of you that's going to want to wait, because you're going to feel like, well, the last time you took a chance, it didn't quite reach the right audience, and so this could discourage you a little bit in 2024. And maybe it's also a little bit, it's maybe also okay to wait a little bit. I'm not sure. Like, you could wait a year and then present this to the world, but like this other idea that you're gonna get. But no, I don't think so. I actually believe, like, even though this card is about saying no, it's not advice. It's what you're gonna be doing. So this is just a mirror of what you would do right now, if I didn't advise you to do something different. I know that my words are not that important, but you know, I'm actually going to advise you to just take a leap of faith when you get this other idea too. Like, I think it's better to just, you know, get it out to the world. Don't think about what other people think, because it's going to reach the right audience. Everything does. Follow your intuition. If you feel like this is the right thing to do, then stay true to that. And also, your ideas, like, they come with, you know, they come with a responsibility, because ideas, like, especially the really good ones, the original ideas that seem to just come to your mind from nowhere, like that, like it seems spiritual. If it seems spiritual, if it seems like something that you wouldn't have come up with on your own, like this is something divine. If something like that comes to your mind, you have a responsibility to put it out in the world, because you have been given this. It's been granted to you. It's a gift. And so you have a responsibility to make the most of it. And so just trust that it's a good idea. And if people say something negative at first, take that as a sign that you're doing the right thing, because the most original and innovative ideas usually always get the most criticism, because people are not used to it, and people like the things that they are used to. People usually gravitate towards the things that are familiar to them. So if you can do something that is completely original, it might not get, you know, of course it's a little bit, you know, it's sad that this is how things work, but if you just hang in there, people are going to appreciate it, and you're going to be a first mover, and you're going to be doing something that has never been done before. And just doing that is just so important on its own. And you have a responsibility to it. You have to deliver it. So ego aside, and just follow your intuition, because there's a reason why you've gotten this. There's a reason why you're the delivery man, that you're the one that's supposed to give this out to the world. Like ego aside, because it's only the ego that holds us from actually doing great things. It's that we are so afraid of doing something that might be disliked, and we should get past that barrier, because it's not really I think the things that get disliked are usually the things that have the most impact on the world, and it might be hard to measure that, because you could get some criticism and some hate, and it might seem like you're a failure, but you're not, because you've actually only failed at giving people what they expect, and that's the only failure you've done, is not accommodating people's people's wants, like what people want, but people only want what they have already seen before. So you can never win in that sense. You can only just change the world by doing something original, and that's, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some more cards. So, yeah. What's going to happen in your career in 2024? With a Fool here, there's definitely going to be some kind of birth, because the Fool is the 0, it's the crowning vagina, it's something new is going to be birthed into the world, and it's going to be birthed into your career. So your career is going to have, yeah, a passion child get into, and it also seems like there's going to be an adventure coming up. Like, it's going to be exciting. Like, there's going to be something that is going to take you to a place that is very much outside your comfort zone, but it's going to be exciting because you're going to be a part of something new, something like a new beginning, something original, something that has never been done before. So, and taking part, like, I feel like for some of you, like, remember that when you do something, okay, this is for all of you, of course, it's not just for some of you, but when you do something original, this is what creates history. Like, doing what everybody else has done before, like, that's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you to the point where you're actually making a change in the world. And I've already said that before, but I feel like you could actually have an opportunity coming up in 2024 that could make history. You could kind of change something in a direction that has, yeah, that's going to be remembered. It's going to be remembered as a great change. Like, whatever you do, like, I feel like some of you are maybe in the creative field. I don't know if it's like entertainment or music. That's also entertainment, I know, but or something else. But I feel like you could start something new, like a genre, or like mixing two things together and creating some new subgenre, or something. I don't know. Yeah. And so I feel like you're gonna get a very exciting opportunity. So it's all about grabbing it, taking a leap of faith, even though it seems a little bit risky, but all the bigger the risk, the better the reward. So, yeah. With the 5 of Cups, well, I feel like the advice here is, like, in 2024, there might be some months where you're gonna feel like this is not worth it, and you're maybe gonna have some anxiety about your career, because you're gonna feel like you don't really know where things are going, like you don't really know if this is, you know, a great foundation, like that you're maybe gonna feel like everything is a little bit shaky. You don't know what's coming, so you can't really prepare for the future because you don't know what the future holds, and that is very scary, especially if you have your own business, or if you're self-employed. It could be hard to know exactly what your income is going to be in the future. You know, it's hard to know if you're gonna have to, you know, save your money or yeah, or if you're gonna have to get a new job or something. But if you're doing something like that right now, if you're doing something big and exciting, then, well, maybe at some point you're gonna wonder if you should get a new job or start something else, because you're maybe gonna be a little bit worried about the finances. And I think as soon as you actually take that step and get start looking for a new job, and maybe even get I'm sensing that some of you are actually going to get a new job, even though you're quite happy with the job that you have right now, that you're building something up that's really exciting. But maybe at some point you're going to feel a little bit like you're too tired of the unknown, that you're always battling with the unknown, and that is very hard. So maybe you're gonna want something stable, something secure, just to get your mind at ease, and I get that. But I think, like, as soon as you actually get this new job, the thing that you're building up right now is actually going to get bigger. And I think it's sometimes a sign to the universe, like when we're just about to give up, we get an uprising. Like, it's like the universe don't want us to quit. They don't want us to have a plan B, or like they don't want us to go with the plan B. They want us to stick with the plan A, and just, you know, I think maybe, yeah. So I don't think, like, if you get a new job, I think it's not. It's actually just gonna make your current job get even more success, just because of the. Just because the universe wants to give you a sign that this is actually what you're supposed to do, that you are actually on the right path, and that you're not supposed to give up. So if that makes sense. But with the Ten of Swords, well, the Ten of Swords, it is about, you know, the sunrise. It's about the sunrise that comes right after a battle has been lost. Like that, and I'm not saying that a battle is going to be lost. I don't think so. I think you're going to be defeated. And a feeling of defeat is not necessarily always coming from outside. Like, it's not always something real in our world that we feel defeated over. Like, sometimes we can be battling some dragons that are not really there. Like that it can be battling with ghosts. And I think maybe that is more what I'm sensing here, is that you're maybe going to be battling a ghost from the past. Something from the past where you're gonna feel like this is I'm gonna give you some advice here, and it's unsolicited, and it's not what you came here for, and it's not gonna concern all of you, and I know that, but I feel like for some of you, if you have had problems with addictions in the past, I think this could be the ghost from the past, like something that you have under control right now, but it might, like there might be a temptation, because this is also Eve in the Garden of Eden, and the snake is here. The snake is here, and the snake is conversing with Eve and tempting her to take a bite of the apple. So there's maybe going to be a temptation in 2024 where you're going to feel like, yeah, maybe it's because you're going to feel defeated. You're going to feel like things are not going as you had hoped. Also with the Five of Cups, you're going to feel like you're not sure if things are going to stick to, like that if yeah, I think there's going to be some doubts, but these doubts are coming from within. It's not going to be necessarily because of something in the world. It's more like, yeah, a fear of not being good enough, or not doing something that's going to make people happy, but feeling like maybe you're going to feel like it's a little bit unfair that you are being granted this gift, like these ideas from the divine, these ideas to, and I know I'm saying divine and universe and spirit and all of this as if it's like this whole big blob of a thing, like, and it is. So when I use these terms, I'm actually just, using different terms to just describe the same thing. But I hope you can navigate through that anyways. But what I'm sensing is that I think you're maybe gonna feel a little bit defeated, and I feel like you're gonna feel as if it's unfair that your ideas are the ones that might create controversy, that you would rather want to have ideas that don't cause controversy, that if you could just do something that doesn't make people mad at you, or I don't think people are mad at you. I think it's mostly that people are unsatisfied when they are faced with something they are not familiar with, and people, like, there are always going to be haters, there are always going to be trolls out there, and it's not like some people just get more trolls than others, and it seems unfair, but it doesn't have anything to do with you, but maybe you're going to feel that way, that you're getting more of it than other people, that you're having to deal with more criticism than other people, maybe in the same field as you. But yeah, know that this is not a bad sign. It means that you're doing something right. It means that there are some jealous people out there who are actually, yeah, I know that it seems like one of those things that, oh, you're just saying that, oh, they're just jealous, and I know that but jealousy is a part of it. I think when people see something great, they want to criticize it more, because it reminds them of the success that they never had, and so they want to tear it down because it makes them feel smaller when someone has bigger success. And so they want the person with because they know they can't reach that level of success on their own. They know that they can't do something great because they don't dare to do anything that is outside their comfort zone, so they never will do anything that great. And so they see someone doing something that great, and instead of cheering them up. They try to break them down because they want to break them down to their level, so that they don't feel bad about themselves, because then everybody's just small and pathetic, and that's how they want it to be. And so don't let people get you down. Don't even read comments, like if it's because you're doing something publicly, which I feel like is true for some of you, and I know it's not going to resonate with all of you and whatever, but if it's about getting negative comments, just don't read them. You don't have to read them. And of course it's hard not to read them when you actually want to read the positive ones. And so you're already reading the comments because you want the positive reassurance that you're good enough. But it's, yeah, but you could just shut it off, because reassurance, sorry, not reinsurance, but I guess reinsurance is also like, but yeah, reassurance, that was what I meant. But yeah, just see it as a sign. Like if you get a lot of negative feedback, see it as a sign that you're doing something original, and that they just, like the negative people, they just are too afraid of doing something similar as you, and so if they did the same, they would get the same backlash. And so there's not, yeah, don't take it personally. That's just my, that's my advice to you. But I see a lot of new things, a lot of opportunities coming in 2024. I feel like there's gonna be very good opportunities to change the world. Not necessarily change the world in like a big way, but change it in a small way that still changes something. Like it's still going to, like you're gonna be setting your footprint on the world, and it matters. I feel like there's also even going to be like an opportunity to go international, like do something that's gonna reach a broad audience. So, and if the audience part doesn't add up with you, because maybe you don't do anything for, like if you're not doing something for a living that has like an audience to it, like if you're not in the entertainment business or anything like that, then I feel like there's just going to be an opportunity to go international in another way, like go traveling with your job, or do something where you're reaching like an international clientele or customer base. Like, so like it could also be like if you have a small business, then maybe it's going to, like maybe you're going to get some customers where you're going to be, sending your product out to other countries, and like if you have an Etsy shop, then maybe you're going to get more customers around the world. And so I don't know, but it seems like in 2024 your career is going to go upwards, especially if you allow it to. If you take a leap of faith, if you're not gonna be crumbled by the feeling of not being good enough, or that like if you feel like some people are trying to get you down, don't let them have the satisfaction of doing so, because that's just gonna, prove them wrong. That's just my advice to you. Like, keep going. Don't let them affect you, because that's what they want. So, yeah, that's all I have for you. group number 1, thank you for watching. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose the Knights Templar Tarot. And I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2? What will happen in group number 2's career in 2024? Okay, so I'm sensing you're going to get a job in 2024. And so I feel like some of you might be unemployed, or maybe others of you might be looking for a new job because you're maybe unhappy with the job that you have right now. And I feel like you're going to get a new job in 2024. And this, like the success of this depends on your approach, how you're going to approach hunting for a new job. Because you're going to get a job nonetheless. But if you hop onto the first opportunity that presents itself to you, you're likely not going to be very happy with it. So I feel like you're going to get disappointed if you take the first job that gets presented to you. But if you wait, you're going to be happy. So it's all about being picky. It's okay to be picky. I feel like some of you might feel like you're not in a position where you are allowed to be picky, but you are, because you're the creator of your own luck. And it's a better investment into the future. That it's better to... It is a better investment because, like, on the long run, it's going to be better, because if you choose the first job that presents itself to you, you're likely going to quit very quickly. Like, you're going to not have that job for maybe more than 3 or 4 months or something. And so then you're going to be searching for a new job. And what's the point in that? Of course, you're going to be employed and you're going to have like an income in those months, but you're not going to be building anything. You're not going to be creating a foundation. You're not going to... It's going to seem a little bit pointless. Whereas if you wait a little bit longer, you're going to get a job that you could potentially have for years and years to come. And so it's all about choosing what you can actually imagine yourself working with 5 years from now. Like, you have to choose what you can envision yourself doing. If you get offered a job where you can't really see yourself in it, where you feel like, oh yeah, this is just a job, it's not really what you want to be doing, but at least it pays the bills or something like that, then you're not going to be happy with it. You're going to get disappointed. You're going to feel like it's not really worthwhile. And of course you're going to feel that way because you're intuitively feeling that way already before you say yes to it. And so it's all about listening to your intuition and choosing a job that you actually seem to have a good feeling about, where you feel like you have butterflies in your stomach, where you feel like it's a part of something, like it's a new beginning. If you feel like this is exciting, it's exciting that you want this job because it seems exciting to you, then you're going to be happy. But I just feel like many of you are going to be too chicken shit to wait around. You're going to be just hopping onto the first thing because you want to, like, you want to pay the bills. And of course, everybody wants that, and it makes sense. But the thing is, I also feel like some of you will be hunting for a job that you're qualified for, something where you feel like this is something where you're quite certain that you're going to get the job because you're qualified. Where it's like you've gotten the job before you even applied for it, and I feel like you're going to be, you're going to be applying for jobs like that, and I think this is problematic. I think you have to take a risk and apply for jobs that you're maybe not directly qualified for, something where you're maybe not the most, like where it's a risk, something where you're not completely qualified, but you have maybe an education that's very similar to the education that they're asking for. Like, I think you should choose the jobs that sound interesting to you, even though you might not be the qualified candidate that they're looking for, but you might just win them over with your job interview, and they might see you as the perfect candidate when you come to the interview, just because you have the right personality that they're looking for, that you have the right, the right vision for how you're going to be working this job. And so I think at the end of I think it's better at the end of the day to choose something that is a little bit out of your comfort zone, but something that seems very exciting to you, something that seems like something that isn't something that you have been working with before. Because I think if you if you apply for something that you have been unhappy with in the past, then you're also going to be unhappy with this in the future. So take that as a sign that, of course, like, you have the experience with that, and so you know that you're probably not going to be happy with something that is too similar to what you've been working with before, because it was never fulfilling to you. So choose something different. Choose something that, hunt for a job that you're not completely certain that you're going to get, but that is also a part of the excitement. Like, it's exciting to try something new, just to see if you could qualify, like if you could actually be considered for this job. Because miracles happen all the time. People get hired for jobs that they're not qualified for every day. And so it's not like it's unheard of. It's not. So, yeah. But I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say about your career in 2024. Knight of Swords. Yeah, so I feel like in 2024, you're supposed to, force yourself into something like that. Well, I don't know, but you're supposed to do something that's a little bit harder to get in. Like, it's where, like, there might be a door that's like it's not completely open, but there's a little bit of a crack there, and you can use that crack to crack it open, and you can get in, even though it seems like, well, maybe there would be other people who could be more who would be more considered for the job than you are. But don't necessarily let that discourage you, because at the end of the day, mostly companies are looking for, like, when companies send out job applications, or like if a company is like looking to hire a person, they usually look for someone who has a personality that fits the company. Like, they're looking for other qualities than just the qualifications, because usually people who have the qualifications might lack the personality or the things that they might value more. Sometimes someone can have like a certificate or a fancy education, but they might lack the social skills to actually do the job in the way that the company or the institution or whatever wants that employee to do that job. So it's I think you could easily get a job get your dream job without actually getting the proper education for it. So if you're right now feeling discouraged because you feel like, oh, I don't have the right education, so this is such a dead end, like you're just where you feel like you're just going to get rejected if you apply for your dream job, don't take that as a given. It's not. You could still get it. You just have to apply for it. And yeah, if you get rejected every single time, then maybe at some point you could maybe wonder if it would be worth it to go back or to go and get the education that you need to get your dream job. But I still feel like it's not really necessary, because I think you can win people over with your charisma and your personality and your morals and values and ethics. And I think these things the things that you can bring to the table are different than the other candidates for the job. So it's just about focusing on the things that make you stand out, because you might have some experience as well that the other candidates don't have. So you could focus on that, and that could value more than having the proper education. Also, like if you want, like you could also start your own thing. Like I know this takes a little bit longer, like it takes a longer time, but if you have always wanted to be a consultant, like if you've always felt like you're very good at helping people and giving people advice and stuff like that, then you could still, you could start your own company. Like you could start online by offering offering counseling online through FaceTime or whatever. You could also be a life coach. Like you don't have to have the right qualifications to be a life coach. Or like you could maybe get like some kind of certificate, which is probably some kind of online course that could maybe look very good if you started your own thing online. Like it might be nice if you had some kind of certificate from some kind of online course, but I still don't think it's necessary, because I don't know, but it could be necessary, but I don't think that takes a long time to get. And if you really want to help people through conversations and through counseling, then that could be maybe a good thing to maybe start up, some kind of make a website, start advertising it on social media, and do it that way. But I still think you could get another job that could be just as fulfilling, something that you could apply for. And so but it's up to you. With the Six of Wands, this is a very good card. It suggests that if you shoot for the stars, if you apply for a job that you're maybe not directly qualified for, I think you could actually get it and be successful and be the one that is going to win the job over the other candidates. I think you might. I think I think you should remember that you have a lot to offer. Like, you have a lot to offer. You have a lot that you seem to sometimes maybe, like, I feel like sometimes you put yourself down and think you're just deserving of the less paying jobs, like the jobs where it's easier to get. Like I think you should stop settling for jobs like that. And I think you have maybe even applied for jobs like that where you have been turned down, and maybe that caused you to think that that you're less worthy of a higher paying job, because if you can't even get like the lowest paying job, like then that must be a sign that you're like, I feel like you took that as a sign, and I don't think you should, because I think the problem was not that you weren't good enough for that job. That wasn't why you were not offered that job. I think the reason was because you were overqualified, because they couldn't see you work for them because they thought you could do something better. And so I don't think I don't think you should have taken that personally at all. I think you should have actually taken it personally in a positive way. Like, I think you took it negatively, but you should have taken it positively. So and so yeah, I think you have been. Yeah, I think you've been rejected because you were overqualified for the jobs that you were applying for in the past, and maybe right now you have also applied for a job that you have maybe recently been rejected to. And I think it's because you're choosing the wrong jobs. You're choosing the jobs that you're overqualified for. And of course, when an employer has to look at a potential employee, they're going to be looking for someone who's going to stay with them for a long time, and they wouldn't choose someone who has more potential to do something grander, something bigger than the job that they can offer, because then they know that they're going to lose you. Like, then there's no investment in that. Like, it makes no sense to invest in someone who's going to be lost or be gone within a few months. Like, so I think, remember that, like, that it's not because you were rejected because you weren't good enough. It's because you were too good. And I think take that and build on that, because that should give you the confidence to shoot for the stars, apply for jobs that are higher than your level of education or whatever. But it's still there's still a good chance that you could get it. So and sometimes people want the, like, people want the middle way, like the sometimes it's like the Goldilocks thing, where it's like you know, you can't be too big, you can't be too small, but you have to be somewhere in the middle. So when a company or or an employer is looking for an employee, then like they might choose to also reject the people who are like if you are applying for a job that you're underqualified for, they might actually see that as the golden middle ground, because they feel like, you know, if you had been overqualified for it, they would have thought maybe you lack something else, like that you could also end up being too arrogant for that they might have chosen to reject some people who were overqualified for that job because they felt like those employees would have been hard to work with, and would be hard to give directions to and instructions to, because they would be too up on their high horse to actually take instructions. And so I think they would want someone who has some of the qualifications, not all of them, but seems to actually be eager to learn, and someone who they can mold into whatever they are looking for. So yeah, I'm going to shuffle one more card. So what's going to happen in 2024? Seven of Pentacles. Well, I think, yeah, don't have too much of a fear of missing out. This is like if you're, don't take the first job, because you're afraid that if you say no to that job, that you're going to reject it later on, regret it later on, that you're going to feel like you're going to have a fear of missing out. That don't let that get in the way of you finding the job that's perfect for you. Fear of regrets should not be a part of this, because you're not going to regret saying no to a job that wasn't for you, that didn't seem right. You're never going to look back at it with regret, even if 2 months afterwards, after saying no, that you're still not in a job. That's not a reason to say yes to a job that's going to potentially make you very unhappy. So you're not missing out on anything if you say no to a job. You're not missing out. It's your right to do that. Like you have the right to do it. Nobody is at a point where they're not in a position to be picky. You are in a position to be picky. It's your life. You can do with it whatever you want, and being like it could even be like slightly harmful to work a job that's beneath you, because even though it's maybe going to be like if you're, for instance, like if you get offered to work in a call center or something like that, I feel like there's nothing wrong with working in a call center, but I think you have qualifications to do something else. You could easily apply for a better job, a job that's less stressful and less problematic, where I think if you actually choose to say yes to the job of working in a call center, this could be harmful for your self-image because you might not be good at it. And that, like, that it's not like it's, and like we're all, like, I wouldn't be good at it. Like, I would be terrible. I don't have the voice for it. I would, and I'm very hard. Like, it's, oh, sorry, I'm not very hard. So, but yeah, this is what I mean. Like, I say stupid things. Like, I say the wrong words all the time, and like my communicational skills would not really be good in that sort of job. And I know I'm doing a communicational job right now, and where I have to talk. But I guess this is a little bit different. But working in a call center, I think I would like, especially because then I would be supervised and I would be getting all this criticism from someone and being told, oh, you have to be more chipper, you have to be more, like, you have to smile more when you talk on the phone, and you have to be, like, they have to be able to hear your joy even though you want to kill yourself. Like, this is not, this wouldn't be good for me. Like, it would break me down. And so I feel like for some of you, this could also break you down. And you shouldn't just feel like you have to take that job because it's the first offer that you get. Because you can apply for a lot of other jobs, and you just have to wait and see if you can get something else, because it's more, your mental health is more important than a job. So, and I'm very, very, like, with the Six of Wands here, I'm very, very certain that you're going to get a job that you're gonna be happy with if you just wait and don't take the first job that gets offered to you. So that's all I have for you, group number 2. Thank you for watching, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose the Mops Tarot, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question? For group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3, what will group number 3's career be like in 2024? What will happen in their career in 2024? Okay, I'm sensing that 2024 will be rather similar to 2023. I'm sensing that there will be some progression, slight progression. It will go upwards, but maybe in a slightly underwhelming way, where I think maybe some of you are in a bit of a rush to get success, and maybe you really just want this to happen as soon as possible. And so maybe this year will be a little bit disappointing because things are maybe not gonna change that much, but there will be progression, and so it's a good thing. It's good news. But of course, if you were expecting something bigger, then then I'm sorry to say that, because I'm not sensing this skyrocketing success. Not this year, not 2024. It could very likely happen maybe in 2025 or 2026, but it is a process where you have to just trust the process. I feel like in many ways you're actually quite privileged to be where you are today. Like, I think you have come a long way, and I think a lot of people actually look at your life and look at it with envy. I think a lot of people would like to have your career. I think a lot of people actually are manifesting their dream life, and that life is your life, is very similar to your life. So I think even though you might be a little bit dissatisfied with where you are today, I don't think that is necessarily, true from an objective point of view. I think objectively speaking, you're actually doing very well. But it might just not feel that way, maybe because you have had very high ambitions for yourself, and maybe you feel like a disappointment to yourself because maybe you set very high goals, and now that you haven't maybe reached them in the time that you gave yourself, like maybe you put a time frame on your success. Maybe 5 years ago you might have set a goal that in 5 years you would want to have accomplished this and that, and maybe now 5 years from then, like now you're maybe wondering whether there's something wrong with you for not having accomplished what you set your mind to accomplish 5 years ago. But I don't think that. I think that is not the right way to look at it, because I think maybe it was the goals that was unrealistic, and maybe nobody would have been able to accomplish those goals that you set your mind to accomplish at that point. So especially not in this time frame. I think it's something that you can accomplish, just not in the time frame that you set for yourself. I think it was a little bit overly ambitious. So but there will, like this, I'm sensing that your career in 2024 will be good. Like there will be good things happening. There will be progression. Things will be looking up, and certain things will figure themselves out naturally without you even having to necessarily fix things. Like small obstacles along the way might occur, but I think it's going to be very easy to figure it out, because it's just going to detangle itself just as you go. And I think it's like there's going to be, I feel like it's going to be a good year for your career. I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say. About your career in 2024. Group number 3's career. This is too many cards. Okay. 10 of Wands reversed. So 10 of Wands reversed makes me think that there actually won't be a lot of, you won't be burdened. And I think that is actually a blessing, that maybe in your mind you want this skyrocketing success. You want to maybe, get the recognition that you have been working really hard to get. And I understand that everybody wants recognition, but the recognition that you want might come with a lot of other things, like a lot of fluff, where you have to deal with a lot of other things, new responsibilities, new assignments, new tasks, new people that you have to suck up to, and I feel like that it would just cause you a lot more stress if you actually got your dream come true. Like if your dream came true, I think it might. I think this is maybe why why the universe is sparing you from manifesting the life that you want to manifest. I feel like some of you have been trying to manifest this for a long time, this big success, this big career success, and I think you should maybe look at your manifestations, look at your dreams and goals, and wonder if this is actually what you want, or if this is what you want based on making somebody proud or something like that. I don't know if some of you might only want this life because it would, it would make your parents proud. It would make it like, maybe you come from a family where everybody has some level of career success, and maybe you want to, I don't know, show them that you can also do it or something like that. Or I don't know, but this is, I feel like it's not bad news that you're not going to be overburdened in 2024. I think it's good news. If you were overburdened, I think that would make you burn out in both ends, and like burn the candle in both ends. And I think that is not where you want to go, because I think in a way how things are right now are actually, like, it's actually comfortable for you. I feel like you're actually comfortable in your career at the moment. So maybe just, maybe it's, I'm just sensing that it's not all bad news, that you're not gonna have too much work to do in 2024, not too much responsibility, not too much time that you're going to be spending on your career, which is a good thing. I think you're going to have time for something else, and maybe something else is even more pressing, especially if you have a family, if you have people you need to take care of. Of course, in a way, I'm sensing that some of you are actually manifesting the skyrocketing success because you want to make your family proud, but I think your family actually needs you right now to be where you are today. Like, they need you to have the time and the energy to somehow also take care of them. So I don't think they necessarily want you to I don't like, it might be like a double thing where they might say one thing and then they might mean another thing, and maybe they want both the cake and eat it too. And so I don't know if they have ridiculous demands. It could be. I'm sensing that for some of you, your family might have high expectations of you, and maybe that is what you are, trying to trying to work out now. But I'm sensing that they need you in another way. They need you emotionally. They need your time. And so I feel like there might be some kind of legal case. I don't know if it's within your family, if there's like a sibling of yours or a parent of yours, or maybe an uncle or a cousin or someone who is currently dealing with a legal case that is really time consuming and really just a lot of trouble. And maybe this person is someone that you should reach out to. Of course, if you don't have anybody in your family who is dealing with a legal case, then this message is not for you. But I'm just sensing that this is a message for some of you, and my advice here is to try to reach out, talk to them. This person might need your support. I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. Okay, King of Pentacles, King of Sausages, it's kind of giving me that, like, I feel like your career is going to be good, it's going to be stable, it's going to be secure, and you're also going to have growth. But the growth is just not going to be as big as you hope it will be. But I think your expectations are also maybe a little bit off, and maybe lower your expectations a little bit, because then you can actually see how great of a year 2024 actually will be. And again, I want to emphasize that there are people who are envious of your career. People around you, they might not say it directly to your face, but they actually find what you do to be really cool. Like that they wouldn't dare in some, like I think some people actually see you as very bold to dare to have this career, and that they couldn't see themselves do what you do, and that they are actually really proud of you, and that they are actually, you know, quite envious of what you're doing, because you're doing something special, something that makes you special, something that makes them feel like they are actually a little bit dull in comparison to you. And so I think, yeah, I think, 2024 seems like a good year, but again, it's not going to be extremely different from 2023. It's going to be kind of the same, but with growth. So, yeah. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 3. I don't really want to get more into this. I just want you to know that there's nothing to be afraid of, first of all. Like, it seems like this is going to be maybe even a little bit relaxed, like a relaxed year, but in a good way. I don't think, with the King of Pentacles, I don't think you have to be worried financially. I think financially things are going to work out. Even when you feel like things are not working out properly, I feel like every time you get, like, and this is only going to happen a few times, but there might be some times in 2024 where you will wonder if things are going to work themselves out. Possibly financially, maybe you're going to worry about finances, but as soon as you start worrying about finances, I feel like there's going to be like a fix to it. Like, it's going to fix itself. Either somebody is going to lend you a helping hand, or there's going to just come up like some kind of opportunity, or like I just feel like there's no need to worry, because things are going to work themselves out. And yeah, so that's my, and I'm not going to say like be grateful and stuff like that, but I think you might have a hard time seeing that how special it is what you're doing right now, that you're actually doing something that other people would be afraid of doing, I feel like. So clap yourself on the back, pat yourself on the back, and remember that you're doing something special, and that you're also having an impact. I feel like you have an impact on the people that you help, or the people that you work with. I think you're actually doing something important as well. And don't minimize what you do. I think if the people that you help through your work knew how you talk about yourself and how you minimize your job and how you minimize what you do, I think they wouldn't understand it. Like they would find that to be silly, because they see your job as something extremely important to them, like that you have like this great impact on their life. So keep going and trust that the universe has your back. Every time you're gonna be slipping, or every time you're gonna feel like this is not worth it or something like that, you're gonna get a helping hand from the universe. And trust that it's like that you have a path here that seems to be very important, and the universe acknowledges the importance of your job. And so don't worry about this, and don't compare yourself to others who might have more success than you. It's not a fair comparison. They might not be on the journey that you're on, and they might not have the same impact that you have. And maybe that is why you feel like, well, these people who have a lesser impact on the world, why are they making more money than you? But I think there's a lot of other factors at play, and don't compare yourself, because it's never a fair comparison, because these people could have success for many reasons, but like and they could be doing, like, if you're looking at someone who has a higher position than you at your job, at your workplace, or whatever, like they might have gotten that position, you know, from a family member. Like a family member might have, you know, put in a good word for them, and so maybe that is why they have the job. They could also have gotten the job out of pity, because they might have like a big family to feed, and maybe the employer took pity on the person and wanted that person to get, you know, an uplifting, and that is also very noble. And you know, there's a lot of different factors at play. So it's not always about who is best at the job. It's not always the best person who gets the highest position or the biggest pay, income. Like, so don't compare yourself to others. There's no point in that. But that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose the Miss Cleo's tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4? What will happen in their career in 2024? What will their career be like in 2024? Okay, I'm sensing that there is some advice here, financial advice, that you should be careful with your money. Don't spend money on something that you don't need, and cut out any expensive habits that you might have, and just be careful. Be careful of anything that seems shady, anything that seems like a scam. Make sure that when you buy things online, make sure to check out Trustpilot or any website that can confirm whether this online shopping website is legit, because I think there is a little bit of a risk here for 2024 that you could get in trouble, and I feel like this trouble is avoidable if you're just careful. You need to be careful with your money, and don't give any credit card like numbers to anyone that doesn't seem completely legit. you know, and don't give it out to anyone at all, like not on the phone. I know that you wouldn't do that, but sometimes people can be very persuasive, and sometimes these scams can be very, very, you know, like can seem very realistic. Like they can call you with like a name where it says like the name of your bank, and it seems legit, and they might use the same number as your bank, but it's not your bank. Like so, like these scammers are getting very, very advanced. So please be careful. Don't trust anybody in 2024 when it comes to your credit card or your money at all. Like, and if somebody comes to you and wants to borrow some money, even if it's a good friend, don't believe them. Like, I just feel like this is a good year to just not trust anybody. Like, I know this is probably bad advice, but I just feel like there might be someone who could be out to get you, or someone who might be out to, you know, not out to get you, but they might, like, yeah, there might be a friend of yours who's a very good friend, and you might feel like you can trust this person completely because maybe you went to school together, and like there's all the reason to trust this person, but maybe this person is getting into some shady stuff where it's life or death. Like this person might have, you know, started hanging out with the wrong crew and gotten on their bad side, and so they might need money because of something shady that they got themselves into, and so they will drag you into it. And they, like, if they borrow money from you, they might not pay you back, even though they will tell you that they will, but they won't because they don't have the money. So please try to try to make sure that you're not going to get into anything shady. That's just what I'm getting here. So, and yeah, don't spend over your means. Don't spend more than you earn. But I don't think many of you do that. So I don't like. But maybe make sure to save up some money because, you know, you never know what the future brings. And I'm not saying this as a warning for this sounds like a doomsday warning, but it's not. It's not. I promise you, nothing. Like, I'm only sensing that if you get in trouble, it's completely avoidable. Like, it's avoidable trouble that could have easily, where you're not gonna be. You're not going to be mad at yourself. You're going to be annoyed with yourself, like, because you're going to think, oh, you knew better, like, than to trust this person, or than to do this or that, or like it's more like I'm not sensing like I'm sensing that if you're careful with your money, this is going to be a fine year for you. This is like I'm not really seeing anything troubling. You might also, like, some of you, like, if you have invested in stocks, I'm not going to tell you to sell because, of course, I don't know, and this is a general reading, so I'm sensing that some of you might have stocks that are not very great. And of course, some of you could, like, well, mostly the reason why I'm saying this is because Spirit wants me to say it. So it must be like kind of a common denominator for all of you, but only all of you who have invested in stocks, you know. So it's like, I guess this is like, if you have invested in stocks, maybe reconsider your stocks. Maybe look at the market and maybe just think about it. Like, think about whether it's a good idea to sell those stocks right now, because it could have a downfall, and there could be some reason why, like there might be, like if you've invested in in stocks in a company, like then maybe do your research about it and see if there's anything that could potentially make the stocks go down, you know, because there could be some reason. But yeah, be careful. Like there's just a theme here to be careful with your money. Think about the money that you have in different places. Like don't spend money on a car that you don't need. Don't spend money on stocks that or don't have money on stocks that might go down and you might not profit from them. And if you have invested in real estate or something, I know that is probably not the case here for most of you, but if you have, or if your family has done that, I don't know, it might be a good idea to just rethink it and rethink whether it was a good investment. Because like if you have like some kind of summer house in like another country or in your country or whatever, but it might like like maybe you're not getting the right amount of, you know, money out of it. Like maybe it's not really giving that much money. Like maybe you rent it out to people, maybe you use it as an Airbnb or something, and maybe it's just not really, you know, maybe the expenses of having it is kind of not really giving you like that. Maybe the budget maybe it's just not worth it. I don't know. Maybe it would be more worth it to just sell it and I don't know. There could also be, like, because there's a lot of weather stuff going on, like a lot of differentiating weather conditions, where there could be some kind of, you know, water damage or something. Of course, if you have a good insurance, then that wouldn't be that concerning to you. But if you don't have a good insurance, then maybe it would be better to sell this place before it gets flooded, because that could end up being very expensive to have to do maintenance on a flat or not a flat, but on some kind of house where there's, you know, water in the basement, or, you know, I don't know. I'm going to shuffle and see what the cards have to say. Maybe the cards have a more general message. I'm just really reading a lot of specific stuff in the channeling. So, okay, 2 of Cups and 9 of Swords. Well, with the 2 of Cups, there could be another reason to, like, I don't know if you are on medication, but there might be a less expensive version of your medication that you could get. And I know that maybe you're afraid that it's going to have side effects, and maybe you're actually very happy with the effects of the medication that you're currently on, and so you don't want to change it in like in the fear that something bad is going to happen, and I get that because it's a big risk to take. But I feel like the less expensive version is not worse, and it could even be a little bit better in terms of side effects. It might have different side effects, but even though it should be the same, you know, the same chemical compounds and stuff like that. So it should be the same thing, but I think there are a little bit different side effects just because it's different brands. But I don't think you will be that dissatisfied with changing over to the less expensive version. So that's one thing, like, because it's usually the two of cups. There's the medical symbol. Of course, it's not really that like you can't really see it on this card as much as you can on the Rider-Waite, but it's still there. Like, it's the snakes and the, you know, but so there's something about medication, maybe going to maybe changing to a different brand. I'm also sensing that there might be some some priority that you need to make in 2024, and that is that maybe prioritize your health over money. Like, I think some of you, like, some of you might be on a sick leave right now. I don't know. Maybe because you're sick, you know, or maybe because you have some kind of chronic illness or something that makes it very hard for you to work, or makes it hard for you to work full time, or something like that. And so maybe you get compensation or something from I don't know. And so, yeah, maybe you're not earning as much money as you would if you could pay, like, if you could work full time, like if you could work overtime or full time, like, then maybe you would be earning more money. But the thing is that I'm sensing that even though I'm kind of, you know, like, I'm talking about this financial trouble that could happen in the future, but again, it's very avoidable, and the avoidable factor is just that don't spend money on anything that is unnecessary. And if you do that, if you're watchful with your money, you can keep, you know, keep your current lifestyle. Like, you don't have to go full time in order to make means, like make ends meet. Like, you don't have to overburden yourself by getting 2 jobs or something ridiculous like that, because you can easily work this out without overburdening yourself, by just changing some habits or changing some patterns in the way that you maybe I feel like this is not necessarily your habits, but maybe your family's habits that has kind of gotten to you, or like that maybe some of your family members have a tendency to live over their means, like that they, or I don't know, and maybe they want you to kind of get on the boat with them, like that they might try to drag you into some expensive stuff that they want to do, or maybe you have some friends who keep inviting you to stuff that you can't really pay for, but then, like, if that's the case, just tell them that you can't go. Like, you don't have to tell them that you can't afford it, because like you could do that if you're comfortable with saying that, but but I feel like they also don't feel bad about this. Don't feel bad about not being able to do the same things as your friends do. But because I feel like your friends might not really be able to afford it themselves. So they are just maybe creating some debt or something, and so that is their burden to carry, but they don't have to drag you into it with them. And so just yeah. Of course, this is not a lot about career, I get that. Like, this is a career reading, and I'm mostly getting stuff about finances, but I feel like it's a bigger theme. The finances will be a bigger theme in 2024 than your career necessarily, because I feel like many of you might have a little bit of a break in your career in 2024. Maybe you have already started this, so you already know that maybe 2024 will not be a year where there's going to be like a great big development in your career, because right now you're overburdened and maybe can't really handle it health-wise. And you should listen to your body and do what you can do. Like, but you shouldn't. Yeah. I know that we all want something out of our career, like something big. Like, we all want to, achieve something great. And I think you will. You could do that, but I think it's also very important to listen to your body. Don't let the stress of your career get to you, because we only live once, and so it's about cherishing what we have. And yeah. So with the Nine of Swords, well, it's kind of I don't know where I'm going with this, but there's a man here who's acting like a monkey, and then there's a monkey in the background sitting like a man. And I know it has nothing to do with the card, but it's just something I just noticed. And what I'm kind of getting is that don't pretend to be something that you're not. Don't and maybe I just said that you didn't have to say that you can't afford something, that you could just and maybe that wasn't the right advice here, because this card is kind of suggesting that you don't have to, that you don't have to act like something you're not, and don't act like you have a lot of money if you don't have a lot of money. Don't feel the pressure from your friends or family to have some kind of lifestyle that fits their lifestyle, because at the end of the day it's just not you can't uphold that. You can't keep that going, and they can't keep it going themselves. And maybe there's also a need to talk to maybe some family members or some friends about keeping it real, that there's maybe no need to have this big facade where we act like we are something that we're not. That maybe it would be okay to to lower the expectations of people, and if there's gonna be a party, that you don't have to order sushi for everybody. You could just make some sandwiches, and that there's maybe some kind of expectation from the people around you that everything has to be fancy or something like that. And I feel like it's just a lot of pressure. And I think the faster you check out of that, the better. And it will cause you to not get in trouble if you just keep it real. Tell people you can't afford that. Like so that's that. Like it like end of discussion. Like so. And yeah, I know that there's a lot of, you know, a lot of parts of the spiritual world, or like I don't know if it's necessarily the spiritual community. I don't know what this is, but like there's this idea of, you know, manifestation. The whole idea that you can manifest your dream life by acting like you have it already. And I have a problem with this because I don't think there's. I feel like people are just lying to themselves, and I'm not saying that you're one of these people. I feel like maybe you're surrounded by people who have this mindset where they think that if they just put on a suit and look very fancy and go to a party and order sushi and or whatever, or I don't know what you do. You don't order sushi at a party. I don't even know what I'm talking about. But you know, if like I have definitely not been at any fancy parties. That's kind of clear now. But you know, people tend to think that if they just appear a certain way, then that is what's important. And I feel like it's very superficial in a way, and I don't think it's really working in the way that they think it works. Like that, it's not like nobody's buying it. And so it like the only way it works is if everybody's buying in on it. Like if everybody believes, oh, that person is rich because this person is really dapper and, you know, looks very fancy, and so they must have a lot of money. But they don't, I'm not really sensing that people actually see a person and think that way necessarily. And it's. And I don't really know what that would really help them, like how it would help a person to act like they are richer than they are. So it's, yeah, I guess it's just all for the gram. I don't know, but I feel like if you are surrounded by people like that, who keeps like this facade going, acts like they are more successful than they are, just to trick people into believing that, then it's a little. I feel like it wouldn't hurt to kind of, you know, take these people out of like or maybe remove yourself from this company, from their company, like remove yourself from people who put too high expectations on you to keep some kind of image going like that. So that's just what I'm sensing here. So yeah, but that's all I have for you. Group number 4. I know that it wasn't a lot about career, but this is the message that I'm getting. Maybe with the 9 of Swords, it could also be like a way of saying like maybe you want a career because you want the lifestyle of the people who have a successful career, that the people that you know who. But again, like the people that you know who seem to have a lot of success in their career might not have that much success in their career. They just act like it. And so there's like maybe don't compare yourself to others. Like they don't have the same obstacles as you have. They don't they're not on the same journey as you are, and they haven't experienced the same trauma in their life as you have. And so maybe you're carrying something that, like, carrying something with you that is very unique for you, and you need to remember that you're not like that your life is different, and maybe it's okay. Maybe you don't have to have like a flashy career right now. Maybe it's okay to not be in a rush to get things going. Maybe it's just about your own, well-being, right now, getting better, feeling better in your body, feeling better health-wise, getting maybe some of your medication under control. Like if you are like, not necessarily the prescription thing. Like if you feel like now is not a good time to change your prescription to something cheaper, then don't, because that was just something I was getting from this card here. But again, it's just mostly about what makes you feel good. Think about that more than how it looks from the outside, because people can go fuck themselves. Like, it doesn't matter what they think about you. What matters is how you feel on the inside. And so that's just the message here. So take it or leave it. But yeah, that's all I have for you. Group number 4. So thank you for watching. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose this Mystical Medleys Tarot, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 5, the people who will choose group number 5? What will happen in group number 5's career in 2024? Okay, I'm sensing you're going to have success. I'm sensing that you're going to be victorious. I think you're going to reach a very important milestone, and I think there's something to be celebrated in 2024. You're going to be accomplishing something that you have been wanting to accomplish for a long time. I feel like you're going to be getting recognition after a long time of work where maybe you haven't been getting that much recognition in the past for the work that you put into your career. And maybe this is something that you've been waiting for a long time. And finally, in 2024, you will see the fruits of your labor. I think you're going to be seeing that it was not, in vain. It was worthwhile. Everything happened for a reason. And I think this is going to be the year where you really feel proud of your career, where you feel like you want to share it with other people. You want to share the details of what you do and what you've accomplished, where I think maybe in the past you might have been a little bit more secretive about your career. You might not have wanted everybody to know about what you did. Like, maybe you've been telling people about it, but maybe you've left out some details, mostly because you didn't want them to ruin it for you. Maybe you wanted some things to be hidden from them, because sometimes it's just good to have something that is untainted of the world, where it's just yours, where like until it gets released, of course, and until you put it out to the world. But I think you've preserved some things where you haven't where you have been keeping it a little bit secret from people. And I think now in 2024 you're going to be more proud and loud about it. You're going to be telling people about it, and you're going to be leaving no details behind. You're going to tell people exactly what you do, and maybe even show them what you've been doing, what you've been up to. And I think there's going to be a lot of pride in what you do. And I think 2024 seems like a very good year for you. It's going to be a good year where you're going to be very happy with your career, with what you've accomplished. And I think you're gonna feel victorious. You're gonna feel like you've won something. That this is a big thing for you. It's gonna be, yeah. It's gonna be good. And I feel like, in a way, I feel like that you might have been a little bit ambivalent in the past about your career. Maybe you didn't really want to completely dedicate yourself to the current career that you have. Maybe because you were afraid that dedicating yourself to it would mean that you would distance yourself from another dream that you had. I feel like maybe some of you had a plan A that you started on a few years ago, and you really wanted this, and this was time consuming. This was all that was your life at the moment. Like maybe you started an education that you were fully dedicated to, and you just really wanted this, and then maybe somewhere in that process you realized that it wasn't really for you, so you might have started your plan B instead. And maybe the plan B has risen to the point where it's actually your current career, and it's actually this thing that you're very loud and proud about now, where you're really happy with it, where this is your only path, where this has just risen to such a grand place where you're so happy, you're so content with what this is, and you know that this was maybe what you were meant to do all along, but you had another dream that was maybe more, popular, like a popular dream that everybody else had. So it was a little bit more normal to want that path. And like I don't know if any of you are following what I'm trying to say right now. It's a little bit cryptic, and I'm not sure if it resonates with all of you, but I feel like I feel like maybe you haven't, like I feel like many of you have been working on getting your current career to the point where it is today, and maybe you felt a little bit that in the past few years or so that it has been taken a long time, that it hasn't been a straightforward path, where there's been some obstacles, maybe a little bit of a stagnation in certain periods where you felt like this is not really going in the way that you expected it to, or that it wasn't really, this skyrocketing success as you maybe hoped it would be from the beginning. But I think the reason might have been because of the ambivalence, that maybe you had two dreams at the time and you weren't really ready to let go of the first dream that you had, the original dream, that maybe this was a little bit, this might have had a grasp on you where you felt like you couldn't really cheat on that dream fully. So you might have been kind of doing the other thing in secret, or kind of cheated on it in secret, like doing this, like if you started an education and wanted to be a doctor, but then somewhere you in between there that you realized that maybe you wanted to be a tarot reader instead of being a doctor, and then you might have started a YouTube channel. This is just like an example, and then like maybe you've been doing the YouTube channel in secret because you didn't really want to cheat on the first dream. Like you didn't really maybe you didn't want people to know that you had switched from one dream to the other. But I think in 2024 you're going to be happy. You're going to be happy that you made this change, because it's going to be worth it. It's going to feel like it was worth it. And whatever this career you have right now is, I know it's not tarot reading for all of you. I feel like for many of you it could be something completely different, but I feel like you're gonna, like the reason why you're gonna get success in 2024 is because you're gonna be fully distanced from the other dream that you had some years ago. Like that, I think you needed that time apart from it. You needed to separate yourself before you could fully dedicate yourself to this other career. And I think this year will be the year where you dedicate yourself fully to it and don't have any plan Bs or Cs or Ds or whatever, or plan As, you know. So it's gonna be, I feel like it's gonna be very good. You're gonna feel like this was worth it. With the Hierophant reversed, I feel like your career in 2024, it's gonna be alternative, and alternative in a good way, because this might have been the alternative solution, an alternative career choice that just ends up being the right choice, the choice that was always meant for you. So the Hierophant also, like when the Hierophant is reversed, it's also about seeking guidance from within. And I think in 2024, I think you're going to be very good at listening to your intuition instead of listening to other people's counseling. Like, because other people don't know your path. And so I think maybe you were afraid of sharing your career with other people in the past years, maybe in 2023 and in 2022. You might have been keeping your career slightly hidden from the people that you love. And I don't think it's because you were ashamed of it. Partially I don't think it was also because you didn't want people to think you failed the other dream that you had. I think mostly it might have been because you didn't want it to be tainted. You didn't want someone to sabotage it for you. You didn't want someone to give you advice about what you should be doing, and you should be doing this instead, and what if you do this and change this, and that would make it much better. Like you wouldn't want that criticism that usually come from the loved ones. Like if you have a YouTube channel, like maybe you were afraid that your family members would be watching your YouTube channel and pointing out that you should have like a different aesthetic, or that you should have like a different way of doing it, or that you should communicate differently, or like whatever. And maybe you just didn't want that sort of feedback, like that your family or friends would give you, because you know that they are brutally honest with you, and that and maybe you just didn't want it to be ruined, because that could definitely ruin it to have people give you unsolicited advice. But I think in 2024, I think you're actually ready to share this. And also, if people give you unsolicited advice, I think you're going to be at a point where you're so in alignment with your true self that you don't actually take it seriously, that you're able to just, let it go. Allow it to pass. If people say something, it's just going in one ear and going out the other. And I think you're going to be good at just thinking that they don't know any better than you do. Like that you know what's best for you, and that you have your own spiritual guidance. You do things out of the guidance that you have within. And they cannot really advise you on how you follow your own path, because they don't know your path. And so, yeah. And I think a lot of your career success is going to be because you believe in yourself and you trust your own judgment, and you know what feels right in your gut. And I think that I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. With the Emperor reversed, I'm sensing that 2024 is it's going to be a year where you're the opposite of the Emperor. The opposite of the Emperor would be like the Emperor is in power, and the opposite of that would be to be a part, like to not be the one in power, but being a part of some kind of, you know, collective energy, and taking part in something collective. And I think this is like sometimes, like when you work on your own, like if you don't have a boss, if you're the boss, or if you're the boss of your own business, or if you are self-employed, then of course you don't have a boss. But the problem is that you still have a boss, because if you don't have a boss, then the boss is all your clients and customers. Then it's all your your whole audience that is your boss. They are in power of you. There will always be somebody in power of you. And so if you're self-employed, it's usually your customer base that is going to dictate what you do and what you sell and what you spend your time on. And this is, of course, the better you are at listening in on what is in demand, like what people want from you, the better. I think that could cause you to have more success, that you listen in on what your clients and customers are looking for and what they are willing to pay money for. And so listening to your audience, listening to your customer base, but also keep your own, like listen to your own intuition too, because you could also get consumed into this where it's okay to give the power over to the people, and allow them to control the show. That is definitely a good way to get success in your career, but to also know what your customer base wants before they know they want it is also a way to earn power, or earn power back, you know, where I think it's a balance. I think it's a balance where I think maybe you will have to figure this balance out in 2024, where when you're going to be listening to your customers and when you're going to be listening to your intuition, because it's like you can't do only one of these. Like you can't only listen to your customer base and you can't only listen to your intuition, because in a way there has to be harmony, because sometimes customers will have demands that are, well, a little bit unrealistic or maybe very specific, or like they want something that only they want, and it's maybe not really a reflection of the whole group, what everybody wants. Like, so like often a customer base will, there will be one customer who has a demand, but it won't reflect the whole group, of course. And so it's also maybe about making some kind of polls, like maybe communicating out to your customers and maybe getting a feel on whether this one customer's demand is actually something that all your customer base could be interested in, and maybe using social media as a platform to find out if your customers are interested in seeing more products like this or seeing more content like this, and just asking them directly. It could be a good idea, I guess. So, okay, with the 5 of Pentacles, this tells me, like, I'm still sensing a lot of success here. I'm not just bullshitting you. But with the 5 of Pentacles, it does seem like the success that you're going to get is maybe more in terms of, you know, exposure, or like that you're going to be more, you're going to reach a bigger audience. You're going to have a bigger fan base. You're going to have more success in terms of, like, you're getting out to more people. But maybe the income that you're going to get, it might not really reflect the numbers of how big your audience, or your, like, I don't know what your career is exactly. I'm kind of getting something about fan base, something about customer base, and I'm kind of feeling that maybe you're self-employed, that you might have a small business, or that you have a social media platform like a YouTube channel or something, but I'm not sure. And you could have something else too. Like, it's different for all of you, I know that, but I feel like maybe the growth that you're going to get, it's going to be there's a reason to celebrate. It's going to be big, but and you're going to get it. I feel like there's going to be like a surprise in 2024 where I feel like it's going to happen overnight slightly, like where you're going to suddenly just feel like suddenly something is working, something is in alignment with something higher, I guess, because you're going to feel like you're really getting recognition. So of course, recognition doesn't always go hand in hand with money, like with financial growth. So sometimes you can get exposure and you can get a lot of positive feedback. You can get a lot of, you know, followers or subscribers or stuff like that. But then you might lack the growth in income as you would have expected would go hand in hand with it. And that's a little bit of a bummer, but in a way, I think this is not something you should be so worried about, because, like, in 2024, it's about growing the. It's about getting out to more people, and I think this is going to pay off. Maybe not that much in 2024, but it will pay off in 2025. I'm fairly certain. So, and I think it's also going to pay off in 2024. But it's just going to. It's more that you're probably going to expect more, because you're going to expect that it's going to reflect the exposure that you're getting. That you're going to feel like, well, you're really reaching a big audience. Shouldn't you be making like a lot of money? You know, it's more that maybe the expectations of how that much exposure would bring you financially is just maybe not completely realistic. But I think I think there is a lot of reason to celebrate. So yeah. And I don't think you're going to be in trouble financially. Of course, yeah, the Five of Pentacles, it's more about the drama. It's like, you know, it's not really, sometimes I feel like this card is a little bit dramatic. Because I've gotten this card in times where it wasn't really that, you know, it wasn't that bad, you know. I feel like sometimes it's more a reflection of what you expect versus what you get, and that maybe in hindsight, when you look back at it, like when you look at it in retrospect, you're maybe gonna wonder why you were so dissatisfied, because maybe it's more that, like, it's not that you're gonna be like these people on the card, in like that you're gonna be, you know, poor. I don't think like, no, you're not gonna be poor, but you're maybe gonna feel poor because your expectation is a bit higher, like that it's going to be like relative. You're going to feel like, oh, why are all these people who are actually getting just as much as, exposure as me, why are they somehow, you know, a little bit more flashy with their money, or like it seems like they are making more money than I am, and I'm getting just as much exposure. And so maybe it's more like that. And of course, there's a lot of other factors to play here, like people who are, you know, bragging about how much they make, how much money they make, when they have, like, you know, this maybe where they maybe have the same amount of followers as you're going to be having in 2024, if you have a social media platform. If you don't have one, then just ignore what I'm saying. But they might be, you know, kind of, they might say a number that isn't completely true, and they might be acting like they have more money than they actually do. And so it's not necessarily like anything on social media is not a real, like, it's not a realistic image of what is actually going on in their life. So, and I think you already know that, but the Five of Pentacles, I also usually see this as the outsider card, the original card, the person who's an original, who has a tendency to be able to be outside looking in and seeing things more clearly because they're not inside the eye of the hurricane. Like they can see things clearly because they have stepped outside the bubble, like the bubble that some people are stuck in. And so, well, what I'm sensing in 2024 is that I think you're going to be looking at your career very clearly. You're going to be seeing it from an outside point of view, and I think you're going to be maybe also seeing it with fresh eyes, where I think you're going to be able to see exactly what needs to be changed, or. But I feel like this is also more philosophical in a sense, where I think maybe you're doing something in your career that is a bit like you're looking in on a group of people, and you can see it very clearly because you have taken a step outside of the circle, and that that maybe your whole career is a testimony to that, like that you're maybe creating, like, I know this is very specific, I know, but maybe some of you are creating a following by talking about something that you were a part of, but that you have stepped outside of now, like you're not a part of it anymore. Like maybe you grew up as a Jehovah's Witness or something, and maybe now you can talk about it now that you're on the other side. And maybe there's something like that going on, where I think it's actually a brilliant idea to take something that you like, something that you have experienced, and talk about it, and reach an audience where they know what you're going through, maybe also, and maybe also can mirror themselves in you and see you as maybe a spokesman of for the whole group, like for them all, like so I'm going to shuffle a little bit more. Too many cards. I'm going to shuffle more. Ace of Wands. So I'm sensing that you're going to have some good ideas. Some ideas that also seem like they're coming from a place that that's divine. Like, I think you're going to be inspired in 2024, and you're going to get ideas where you feel like these are not ideas you could have come up with on your own. They seem to have a source that seems to not just be, fabricated inside your brain. And I think these inspired ideas are very important to share. It's important to share what this divine inspiration, these ideas, I'm really sensing that you're maybe going to have some dreams also, like some dreams that are maybe a little bit prophetic, or just dreams that are really, really interesting symbolically, and maybe you're going to use that in some way through your art. Like, if you do art, then maybe you will have a very interesting dream that you're going to be using as inspiration for your art in the future, and in 2024. So I'm definitely getting a lot of good energy here, like a good feeling for 2024 in terms of your career. I think you're going to have a lot to celebrate. And yeah. I'm going to shuffle just one more card just to get a little bit more information about your career. Seven of Wands. This is a good card. It means you're going to be on top of things. You're going to be actually on top of your game. You're going to be up on the hill, and there will be people who want to get a piece of this, and there are going to be people who will want your position. There will be competitors. There will be people who will compete with you and possibly also try to put you down in order to shine. Like, in order for them to shine, they might feel like they have to eliminate the competition, and the way to do that is to maybe troll, or so there might be some trolls out there that you might have to deal with in 2024. Some jealous bitches who's gonna be creating fake profiles just to write comments. Like, if you have a social media platform, you might get some comments from some fake profiles. The people behind these fake profiles could be competitors. It could be people who are in the same field as you, who are on the same path as you, and trying to get the same audience as you're getting, and might feel like you're stealing their audience. So the only way to get you to they might feel like they can't compete with you, that you're doing something a little bit better than them. So they, instead of trying to rise above you and try to do better than you, because they feel like maybe they can't do that, they have to put you down. They have to try to pull you down so that you're so that they don't have to compete with you, so that you're down on their level, or maybe even beneath their level. Like they have to just push you down and maybe even force you. Like sometimes I guess people do this in order to try to discourage you to stop altogether. Like, and so yeah, if you get some really shady comments from people where it's like, damn, that hurts, like, then don't take it personally, because the person on the other side is a competitor trying to push you down, trying to discourage you, trying to get you to delete your account so that they don't have to compete with you for the same audience. And so, and these people can be very shady, and they can lower their morals to the point where they will ask you to kill yourself or something like that. And it's that it's trolls, and it's not. Remember that this is not, has nothing to do with you. It's just, it does have something to do with you, because it's a good sign that you're actually doing something so great that a competitor has seen you as their biggest threat and want to get you down because of how threatening you are to their success. So it's not like, I know it's hard not to take shit like that personally, but try not to. And with the Judgment here, the Judgment card, I am sensing that, well, there will be some judgment. Judgment is not, it's the same message as the Seven of Wands here. Rise above the pettiness that these people will show you, and don't let them drag you down, because these people are just, they are hell-bound in a way, and they are just dragging you down with them. And well, that's maybe a little bit too harsh to say, but I think it's when people are a little bit, sad and pathetic, they just want the whole world to be sad and pathetic too. And rise above. Don't let this drag you down. It's because with great success comes a lot of trolls. A lot, like it's just, it happens to all of them. Like everybody who especially on social media, if like it's the name of the game, and it's it's a bad, like it's the negative part of this industry. But just trust your intuition. Trust that you're doing the right thing. Trust that you're actually reaching an audience that is very, very grateful for what you do, even though they might be silent about it. Because usually the grateful ones, the positive ones, are very silent. Like they are silent viewers who might have a hard time showing appreciation with words. Maybe they are also afraid that because they don't have it, like the good ones, the positive ones, they don't have fake profiles. They only have the one profile that they use as their normal profile on YouTube or Instagram. They only have the one. And so if they comment on something, they know that people will see. Like people will know that they comment on it, and they might feel like their privacy is being breached a little bit, especially if you are posting something that might help them emotionally, get through some trauma or something like that. They might not want to comment how important you are in their life, because maybe some family members might see their comments. Like they might, like, especially on Instagram, because like if you comment something on Instagram, then your friends and family will see your comment. And so they will start asking, like, oh, what's this trauma, or what is this about, and like and so they will be curious, and so it's all like, sometimes sometimes the positive ones don't really show their appreciation because of privacy, and because they don't have shady fake profiles, which is a shame, really, because it would be nice if they did, but they don't, and so, like, they not shady fake profiles, but fake profiles where they could just show appreciation without having their family getting into their business, and but I don't know what I'm talking about right now, but and I don't know if this is even relevant for all of you, but just remember that people will always have, like, something, like, people will always be jealous, and there will always be some people who feel like it's hard for them to see somebody else get the success that they have been working really hard to get. Like, some people might be, I think sometimes it's that, like, that they feel like they've done so much, and that it's like they can't see somebody else get the success and live the dream that they wanted to live. Like it so I think it comes from a sad place, where it's maybe the best way to deal with this is just to feel sorry for them, because they are sad people on the inside, and so and of course some of them are just looking for a reaction and having having a laugh out of it, and these are the terrible ones. These are not the sad ones that we should feel sorry for, but well, it's hard to tell, so it's just maybe good enough to just, well, maybe just feel sorry for all of them, just in case, but I don't know. But it's very unfair, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna leave the reading here. I think it's a good organic way to end it, I think. So I'm gonna say thank you for watching. It was a pleasure for me to do this reading for you. I think you're onto something very interesting, and I think you're doing something that seems to be touching a lot of people's lives, and I think you should keep going. And so, but if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and a great week, and a great year. And bye.